Hi and welcome to the Watchman Report, where we bring perspective to current news from a biblical standard. Whether prophecy or moral and social issues, we highlight the biblical teaching relating to stories that are breaking on the world stage. And in this issue, we examine the phrase occupation or colonialism. While the world wrestles with the question of who has a right to occupy the Holy Land, for Bible believers, there is no doubt. The land does not belong to Israel nor to the Palestinians. It is a land which the Lord thy God careth for the eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it from the beginning of the year even until the end of the year. Deuteronomy 11 verse 12. It's very clear. When Abraham first entered the land, he came to Shechem, which today is in the heart of the West Bank. While there, God promised to give him and his seed the land, Genesis 12 verses 6 and 7. And in the next chapter, the promise was reiterated and made perpetual. To thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Chapter 13 verse 15. Competing claims of Jews and Arabs regarding the land have been a matter of contention ever since the Zionist movement emerged in the late 19th century. But since the Hamas attack on southern Israel in October 2023, that debate has become much more heated. Israel's stern response to the Hamas attack has triggered anti-Israel protests around the world. If we pay close attention to the rhetoric used in those protests, we can see a definite and significant shift in the language being employed. In 1967, Israel was victorious from the Six-Day War. Its forces drove Jordan out of Jerusalem and the West Bank, Egypt out of the Gaza Strip, and Syria from the Golan Heights. Despite the opposition of most nations, Israel subsequently annexed Jerusalem and the Golan Heights. Israel formally withdrew from the Gaza Strip in 2005, although its troops are now fighting there. But it has continued to occupy the West Bank. Evolving rhetoric. Since 1967, there have been calls for Israel to end the occupation of what are now designated the Palestinian territories of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. These calls were often accompanied by calls to reinstate the international boundaries as they existed in 1967. The United Nations has been at the forefront of promoting the concept of two states, Israel and Palestine, occupying the land more or less harmoniously. The vision is endorsed by most nations, including Israel's allies in the Western world. And in the past week, however, the language used by many of those protesting against Israel's war in Gaza, and now also in Lebanon, has deviated from the script with which we have been familiar since 1967. Chants such as "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," and "We don't want two states, we want 1948." These are heard repeatedly. These slogans reflect a view that there should only be one state from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, and that state should be Palestine, not Israel. These slogans are underpinned by a fundamental shift in the language of those who support an independent state for the Palestinians. Increasingly, the word occupation is being replaced by the word colonialism. The more ideological driven use the phrase settler colonialism. This paints the settlement of Jews in the land not as a return to their ancient homeland, or rather as the dispossession of Palestinian territory by foreigners. Ignoring the fact that Jews have returned to the land from Africa and other parts of the Middle East, Zionism is seen as a malign European strategy to usurp the rights of the indigenous Arab inhabitants of the land, thus categorizing the Jews as interlopers in the land promised to their patriarchs. There is nothing new in the rhetoric. It was a staple of Arab and Soviet propaganda in the 1960s, but it has found a new resonance in the current politics of race, which focuses upon the evils of white supremacy and colonialism as the great evils of the modern world. Nations which were colonized by European powers in the 19th century are now calling for repatriations to right the sins of the past. Similarly, if Israel is regarded as a settler colonial state, its legitimacy as a Jewish nation can be negated. Strange bedfellows. There is a certain irony that many of those in the Western world protesting in support of the Palestinians are effectively making themselves allies of Iran, a nation whose social policies are at odds with their progressive ideology. Iran explicitly rejects the concept of a two-state model in Palestine and openly calls for the annihilation of what it calls the Zionist entity, by which it means Israel. That is also the agenda of those who speak of Israel as a settler colonial state. To support the claim that Israel is a settler colonial state requires a rewriting of history to deny any Jewish link to the land. And in the case with the Holocaust denial, this is inherently ahistorical. But in a world with such a high degree of historic ignorance, it is easy to fool many people, especially in a climate where there is growing anti-Semitism and suspicion of Jews. Now, at the heart of the Arab-Israeli conflict is not Gaza or the West Bank, but specifically Jerusalem, and Israel is in no mood to compromise in relation to Jerusalem. The day is coming when all the people of the earth will be gathered against it. Zechariah 12, verse 3. And the rhetoric we now hear from the supporters of the Palestinians suggests that that day may be ever near. We pray that this video report has provided some clarity to this subject. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and select all so you never miss a new upload. Don't forget to like, share and drop a comment in the comments area and have your say. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you follow our playlist and never miss a new report. So until next time, God willing, this has been the Watchman Report, bringing perspective to current world news from a biblical standard. This report was written by Jeff Henstock. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you in your studies. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment in the comments section and let us know what you thought. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Please share it and spread the word. Thanks for watching, and remember to come back soon.